This episode is brought to you by marketing consulting firm The Bonafide Lyrics and Marketing, LLC, where creativity meets business. You can check us out at www.theblm.com for more information on how we help local artists and creatives maximize their business presence. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
Check us out. It's the All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast. All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
What's up? We in the building. It's going down. All Love, No Fear podcast.
We here.
Yeah, season 2, episode 4? 4. Yes, 4.
Yes.
You would think that
episode 4.
We've done many episodes and that I wouldn't remember. Yes, episode 4. I don't know. I'm going through something right now. I'm a tiny bit sick. I don't really know what's going on. And I'm very tired, so that's why I got the Starbucks. Shouts to them. They're not a sponsor, but if they want to, that's cool too.
I have to block out that logo, honestly. What happens? I don't know. I really haven't figured out how this whole thing works, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're going to work it out. But we stopped by the Bucks before we got here. This is my grande iced caramel macchiato.
All right, they're not paying us. Don't say too much.
I'm just saying, it's really good. This is my favorite drink.
They're paying us $0.
No, I understand, but like in case someone wants to like give me a gift, like I like Starbucks and I like grande iced caramel macchiatos, just for the record. So yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And this is our second to last podcast for the year. Yeah, it's been an interesting year. We're gonna do more like end of year reflection stuff in next week's pod.
Happy holidays.
Yes, happy
Merry
holidays,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Happy Hanukkah,
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus,
Merry Festivus.
Is it Merry Festivus?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's
we should look that
Festivus
up.
for the rest of us. Festivus for the rest of us. Hey.
Well, I'm not the rest of. I'm not the us referred to in the rest of us, but like I see what you're saying. Let's be inclusive. Yeah.
There's all the holidays. Boxing Day.
Okay. Only West Indians acknowledge that.
And
America doesn't. And Canadians, yes.
Canadians
are also into that. They about that life.
Yeah.
For sure.
So happy all of the holidays.
Word.
I'm pretty sure I'm missing a bunch more.
Oh, for sure. 100%. 100%. Like, I'm sure there are people that we're just not including, but, you know.
What I realized is also, while driving Uber, I listen to now David Levy.
Mm-hmm.
And he says specifically Ethiopian Christmas.
Ethiopian Christmas? What is Ethiopian Christmas?
He says Ethiopian Christmas.
What is that?
Happy Hanukkah. I was like, oh, okay.
What's Ethiopian Christmas?
I don't know. I guess it's Christmas in Ethiopia.
All right, let's look that up.
It was just funny that he just chose that specifically.
Ethiopian Christmas. Maybe that's a thing because they got like mad stuff. They got mad cultural stuff that I don't really know about.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen like an Ethiopian wedding? How they get dressed up and they have like the it's not a robe. It's kind of like a ceremonial like cape almost, and they have a crown and stuff like that. It's lit. I've seen it on what's that show? The Wedding Show.
Word.
Say Yes to the Dress.
Okay.
So, okay, Eastern Orthodox Christmas. Oh, so Ethiopian Christmas is January 7th, apparently. Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Well, the day doesn't matter because it's not the real day anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just acknowledgement of his birth. Doesn't matter.
That's true. They say Jesus was born in April, but you ain't hear that from me.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what day it was. We're just using it to acknowledge.
Yeah.
The birth of Christ.
So they apparently celebrate Christmas on January 7th. And the Ethiopian Orthodox Church's celebration of Christ's birth is called Ghana. Or Ghana. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ganna. Families attend church. The day before, people fast all day. We do not do that here. The next morning at dawn, everyone dresses. Fasting, girl.
Americans suck at fasting so much.
Sidebar. Every time Lent comes around and they be at church talk about, so we're going to do a fast, I always be like, are you?
America has an issue with fasting. I don't know what it is.
Listen.
Like Christianity, I don't know what it is. Like
we just like fast.
We're supposed to fast as much as everybody else, but we be like, can we just do all the other things? The fasting, though.
Yeah, fast.
It also explains how fat we are.
Yeah, it is.
It also it just fully expresses how.
In 2017, when they were like fast, I was like, I'm pregnant, snitches. Can't be a part of that. 2018, they were like fast. I'm like, I'm breastfeeding, snitches. Can't be a part of that. So for 2 years, I was like, look at them fasting. Look at them. Look at them. That's terrible. I mean, all jokes aside, I do not discredit the power and the value in a fast. I'm just like, we got to talk about why Christians be so fast.
Yeah.
We don't be interested. As a general body, we'd be like, all right.
In contrast, nice. Muslims will fast.
No, like even the Muslims that I've seen drinking alcohol and smoking weed, and I know that's not what they're supposed to be doing. Come Ramadan, they be like, you know what? I'm gonna turn over.
They don't be active. They don't be active at all.
Right? They don't be in nobody's Juma or nothing. They don't do none of that.
But when Ramadan come around,
they about it.
It's time to fast.
They about it. They fast. You know what's crazy?
They're ready to fast.
They don't go, but they still, and some of them, even though they won't go to Juma or do any of that other stuff, they still do like the 5 prayers a day. Mm-hmm. They be like, you know what, let me just get right here right quick. Let me just wash my hands, do my whole load. You know, let me just get my prayer on it. No problem.
Yeah. Like if we just fast like a little bit, like we suck at fasting.
Yeah, we're not committed to that.
They'll be like fast. You be like, so how about we just don't have cake? How do we do that? Can we just do that? Can we just not have cake? Is that
like
is that
Mark,
an option?
And Mark is like a honest to God, like committed faster. Like Mark will do a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. fast. I'm like, no.
It's important.
I understand. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. don't eat nothing.
You drink water.
That's boring. It's very.
The funny thing is Ramadan. I think Muslims they can't drink water.
They can't even drink no water.
They can't drink water.
I said, oh well, be blessed, friends.
So I'm out here cheating compared to them. I'm still cheating.
I don't have a problem giving up like certain food items. I don't have a problem with that. But like nothing?
Yeah. Like, but
maybe I'll get there one day.
Just to give the viewers, just if you don't know, the Bible does say certain prayers can only be answered through fasting and prayer.
It do say that. It do say that. It do
fasting
say that.
And prayer.
Right. Not fasting or prayer, fasting and prayer. I'm just saying I'm still working through like what the fasting looks like for me. But honestly, like people like to make jokes about like, you know, like giving up social media or something isn't really fasting. Yes, it is.
I never said it was a fasting.
No. I'm not saying that you're not saying it. But some people think fasting is literally only restricting yourself from food. But I'm like, food is not even, to me, like the biggest issue for a lot of people, and myself specifically. Social media, like when I did, what was it I did this year? I didn't do social media. I didn't do any Facebook. I didn't do any Twitter, Instagram, YouTube even. Like I just got rid of all that. And when I tell you, like it really helped me to reevaluate my life, because I literally used to spend the entire day on social media, the whole day. From the time I woke up, I would be on YouTube. Then I would go on Instagram. Then I would go on Facebook. Like, and I would do that all day long.
Word.
All day long. From the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. And this year, I decided I'm not going to do it for the 40 days. And it's made such a difference, honestly. Because even though I'm back on the social media, like I'm not on like I used to be. Yeah. Not to the point of distraction where I'm like not doing anything productive because I'm just sitting up staring at my phone all day. Right. Like, yeah, when I'm on this podcast and y'all see me like looking at my phone, I'm not like BSing. I'm like, excuse me, I'm reading stuff or like looking at the docket in anticipation for the next topic. But yeah, fasting. We're going to talk about that one of these podcasts, like hardcore.
Just, yeah, like go a full topic, not just little stuff we're doing right now.
Yeah. So let me continue to tell y'all about Ethiopian Christmas. So the day before, everybody fasts. And the next morning at dawn, everybody dresses in white. And it's worn like, it's called a shama, a thin white cotton wrap with brightly colored stripes across the ends. It's worn like a toga. More urban Ethiopians might put on white Western garb. Then everyone goes to the early mass at 4:00 in the morning in a celebration that takes place several days later. The priests will dress in turbans and red and white robes as they carry beautifully embroidered fringed umbrellas. It's lit. It sounds very lit. The choir assembles in the church, and each person coming into the church gets a candle. They walk around. The congregation walks around the church 3 times in a procession, holding the candles. They gather in the second circle to stand throughout the long mass with the men and boys separated from the women and girls. The center circle is the holiest space in the church where the priest serves Holy Communion. They play games and they do. It's apparently like a 12-day thing. So from January 7th to January 19th, they have a whole thing. And then after the 19th, they have something called Timcat, which commemorates the baptism of Christ. This is a whole thing. I learned something new today. Ethiopian Christmas is a whole thing. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to do some more research into this, but this is interesting. This is very interesting. So shout out to David Levy for putting us on to some new-ish.
Word. That's cool.
Word.
Well, real quick, let's do our shout outs real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the people on Spotify.
Yes, on
Spotify
Apple.
listening. On Apple listening.
Yep.
On Google Podcast listening.
On Himalayas.
Stitcher, Blueberry. You remember
Blueberry,
Himalayas?
Podbean.
On listening. Also, shout out to the YouTube viewership.
Hey, YouTube viewers.
YouTube. We're gonna try to post the same video on Facebook soon.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about doing that.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So hopefully, if you want to view on Facebook, you can do that also.
It's lit.
Word.
These nails
and hopefully, we have some surprise coming up for next week also.
Surprises in the house.
Surprises.
I said surprises in the house.
Word.
Said surprises in the house.
All right, so we're gonna go right into our love it and lose it or lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Our love it or lose it. Just so you know, we usually have 4 items, and we have to choose one that we will lose, one that we will love. Lose, throw it away. Love forever.
Forever.
All right. I just thought about it in the last minute.
Okay, that's the best. You don't have time to think
because we were doing it. I was like,
Yeah, I was like, I hope he's got something because I don't have anything.
So that's what I was on the side typing. Mm-hmm. So the the 4 are. This is cell phones pre-Android iPhone feud.
Okay.
So the 4 phones that we want to address.
Okay.
This is all I guess would be like high school, early college.
Oh boy.
Would be the Nokia.
The one that you can play Snake on?
Shout out to Snake, I'm about to say.
Okay.
T-Mobile Psychic.
Mm-hmm.
The T-Mobile Psychic. The Razor.
Mm-hmm. That was lit.
And the BlackBerry. The BlackBerry. All 4. And this is the old school BlackBerry. Like the new one now that has Android, all that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
This is before the iPhone, before the Android. These are the 4 phones that were dominating the market.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Nokia was right before, I think, the T-Mobile Sidekick. Mm-hmm. But these are the 4 people grew up on. If you, I guess, the phones we had in high school that people had. Y'all don't know how this was, this life. You don't understand this life.
You don't even know.
Like, Nokia was like the vibe, son.
It really
Nokia was the vibe.
The whole vibe. My best friend in high school had one. Hey, Samantha, shouts to you.
Play Snake. You could.
I think I still have my Nokia, my Virgin Mobile Nokia. I think it's somewhere in the house. I found it recently.
Virgin Mobile.
Yeah, Virgin Mobile.
And then we had Nokia. We were out here making songs with beeps with the phone tones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember we didn't have
people used to do
we didn't
that.
have full music and notes. It was just notes. And we were like, yo, that's that song right there. We were like beep 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 beep.
We are an innovative generation.
I think the big one at that time was like Big Pimpin'.
Oh.
Beep 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 beep. Beep beep beep. We're like, oh shit, it's Big Pimpin'. It's Big Pimpin'. That's my ringtone. It's Big Pimpin'. It's Big Pimpin'.
Remember ringtones? Remember when that was a thing?
Remember buying ringtones?
They buying ringtones. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I spent mad money on ringtones. I want my money back because that was a whole scam.
For beeps.
Yeah.
For someone to be on the thing making beeps. Not even like music. Beeps.
It's a whole entire scam. I want my money back. I don't know who I would address about that, but I do want my money back. That was a whole entire scam.
Ringtone buying.
So you said BlackBerry, Sidekick, Razor, Nokia. My loser off the bat is Nokia.
Okay.
Despite the fact that those phones were like I never liked how those phones were shaped. Like
they were shaped trash.
Like visually, like I just did not like they were not appealing. They weren't a look. for me visually. Like, I got that they could do all the beeps and the snake and the this, but just the way they look, like, they gave me house phone vibes, and I never liked it. It wasn't sleek, it wasn't sexy to me. It was just real house phone looking. And even my Virgin Mobile, like, back then, that was like a small Nokia compared to like some of the clunkier ones, but it still was like, nah, this isn't an attractive phone to me. So just based off of like looks alone, I would have to like lose the Nokia because it just wasn't cute. It just wasn't vibey, and I feel like the color options were also quite limited.
It was,
like
no, people used to buy the cases.
Yeah,
remember we doing plastic discussing cases? So plastic case that people used to buy and snap it on. It was like two halves, just snapping on there.
Ghetto.
People used to have like
ghetto.
Yeah,
ghetto.
These are some cases all through like the mall.
Mm-hmm. I remember those because I think I had one.
The cases, yeah.
Yeah, I think I had like a sparkly one that like was a 2-piece snap thing, and I'm just like,
it's funny how they were getting off selling them ugly phones. Yeah. Like, people was going hard from the ugly phones.
Fam.
Going hard.
Fam. The amount of money that I wasted on these ugly phones, like, I want my money back. I want my money back because I played myself. I didn't know that back then, but I was playing myself, and now I'm upset about it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And I was trying to say, like, maybe it was a different one, but no, I think Nokia's might lose it also.
Okay.
Only because, like, the other ones, they all had something else that, kind of was a good selling point. Everything was a selling point. The only thing that had a selling point for Nokia was Snake, really. You know, I guess it's not fair for Nokia to be there, maybe, because Nokia was the older one.
Yeah. Maybe you should throw Nextel in there.
Okay, we'll change Nextel.
We still stand by what we said about Nokia.
Yes. We'll change Nextel. Maybe you're right. The Nextel chirps.
The Nextel chirps. I'm still losing the Nextel chirp, and I'll tell you why. Because that sound was annoying. It was annoying. Like, being in high school in Queens, like, I think they, like, after like 2 weeks after those phones came out, my school was like, y'all can't come in here with that. Because all you hear in the hallway is chirp, chirp all day long.
Like honestly,
like, all day.
What I'll say is this:
for no reason.
It might still happen now, but I don't know. I'm not in high school. But you knew what was fly by what was canceled in school. Mm-hmm. What got canceled? Because next tale start coming out, or everybody was having it. Like, all right,
that's enough out of y'all.
No more y'all. Schools got canceled. Mm-hmm. Same thing happened with yo-yos. Everyone's going.
Why was they coming so hard against the yo-yo? What did the yo-yo do to everybody?
Because everybody's out here playing with yo-yos like crazy. Like, you saw them yo-yos everywhere.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, all right, no more yo-yos for y'all.
Yeah, I was like,
y'all playing games. We canceling yo-yos. Mm-hmm. We got rules against yo-yos now. Don't have yo-yos out here.
Like for real. That's how people were doing the most.
Anytime people start doing the most because like it got too popular, that's when schools start like, all right, let's shut this down. Let's shut this whole thing down.
Facts. I was just looking up Nextel. I'm like, whatever happened to Nextel? Where'd they go?
They were with Sprint.
Yeah, they merged with Sprint. I was like, whatever happened to Nextel?
Sprint Nextel.
Yeah. That's right. I remember that. I was like, whatever happened to them? I wonder.
Yeah, I remember in school, like people used to be doing the chirp while in school,
like all through the hallways,
and like
all day,
and like Nextel got that off too of just like it's just a phone call. Like this was like, no, you got certain amount of chirps. It's a voice text message is what it is.
Yeah. It was a little
because like what like no one works at a construction site over here.
Like there's no need for that to be a thing that you have like as a regular like phone
nobody's at a construction site. No one's out here.
We're in a public school hallway. There's no need for this.
But like people just all had this chirping and like the voice coming out automatically to everybody can hear. It's like an automatic speaker.
It was so unnecessary. I used to be so annoyed with it. Like,
chirp. Hey yo.
It's like, what is the problem? What is happening? And then it would be even worse, like, because when I was in high school, I went to high school in Queens. And so I used to go on the Ave a lot. And for those who don't know what the Ave is, it's 165th Street and Jamaica Avenue in Jamaica, Queens.
Look at you trying to make it worldwide. Make sure it's not a New York podcast. Look at you.
No, I'm just trying to. I mean, if you know, you know. But, you
might not be from New York.
You might not be from here, so the Ave might not mean anything to you. But imagine walking up and down the Ave and all you hearing is millions of Negroes, millions, not just the people from high school, but like the kids from the 75 other high schools that were around that area, plus the adults just chirping up and down. Like, oh my God. If you're like a noise sensitive person, it was not a time to be alive. Let me tell you.
It wasn't a time.
Not a time. Ugh. Because I'm a person that gets over like noises very quickly. And so I think I was very annoyed in the Nextel phase with the unnecessary chirping. I was like, can you like, why? For what? Like, just walking around everywhere, chirp, chirp, chirp. Hey, yo, chirp, chirp, yerp. Like, you could have just yerked without the chirp. It wasn't, I don't understand why we're doing this. It was just the most indiscreet way of communication possible. And I just could never understand, like, why people were choosing to do this.
Yeah.
Hated it.
I guess that's the version of like being stupid, trying to do illegal things with your loud voice.
Like, bruh, what are you doing?
Like, we can hear you.
Like, why are you chirping a potential drug deal? Like, why do I need to hear that, sir? Right. Please explain. Making all types of unnecessary noise all over the place. Annoying.
Yeah, the whole thing was crazy.
100%.
And like I said, what's crazy how Nextel was out here charging for chirps. Charging for chirps.
Like, which makes me even more confused about why people were using it in the first place.
Charging for chirps.
Child, please. People had money to throw away. That's my theory. People just had money to waste. What was it, like 60 cents a chirp or something like that?
It was unnecessary. It was more than it should ever pay.
Let me do my Googles. See if I can find out how much it was for a chirp back in the day.
Because basically, people were out here chirp. Because it was basically a walkie-talkie and a cell phone.
Mm-hmm. But them Nextels, they were so small though. I feel like people used to lose them things all the time.
No, they're big ones. I've seen the big ones.
No, yeah.
Because like people had them like strapped to the
You're
belt.
Right.
To the belt.
You're right. Oh, remember that when people used to strap phones to their belts and that was like a thing?
Yes, until phones keep getting stolen everywhere. People take it right, snap right off.
Snap it off.
But yeah. Yeah, I'm probably losing Nextel too, so that didn't really change anything.
Yeah, no.
So nothing was changed.
No, nothing was changed.
Let's move on.
Nothing was changed.
Let's move on. So what's your love it?
My love it would have to be the BlackBerry. Because it used to go down in the BlackBerry pin conversations.
BBM?
BBM, it used to go down in BBM. I wish I still had some of those messages because wildness went on in BBM. Just wildness.
BBM was cool because text messages cost money.
Yeah. So BBM, you could just be over here just like talking wild in various group chats and in individual conversations.
Yeah. And I think
it was a good time.
It fed into people's want to be exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you could only use BBM if you had a BlackBerry.
Yeah. So it kind of like made people like this. I want a BlackBerry, just do BBM.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember I had a which you gonna go over? I had the Google. I had the first Android.
The G1?
The first Android.
Mm-hmm.
I had the G1.
Yes, like you had that when I met you, and I think I did have a BlackBerry at the time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I had the G1.
Couldn't BBM me. You weren't down.
No, was not.
Shame.
But I had to go back and forth with other people from church. If you're listening, I guess people from church used to be with the BlackBerry talking to me crazy. Because used to be like, no, get BlackBerry so you can talk to us. They were like, y'all talk to each other. Y'all cool. But yeah, they used to be always in the BlackBerry groups just talking.
Mm-hmm.
I was out here with my first Android.
Mm-hmm. I remember that phone.
I love that phone. I just want to point that out.
You did love that phone. You really did. Your heart was really broken when you had to get rid of it. Why did you have to get rid of that phone? What happened to it? Like it just got old?
Yeah, it was just no, it was you. You're the
me? What did I do?
Because you was like you wanted to you want me to get a BlackBerry.
Oh, I made you get a BlackBerry.
Yeah,
right.
You want me to get a BlackBerry to be like you. Remember, you got the white BlackBerry. I got the black BlackBerry.
Mm-hmm. And the white BlackBerry did me wrong.
Yeah, that's what you get for making me get BlackBerry.
After all these years, this is how you feel. It all comes out. It all comes out now.
Because you know what the issue is with the issue with BlackBerry that I have, and this is why it's not my love it, is BlackBerry. It was good with messages. Mm-hmm. It was good with email and stuff like that.
Yes, it was good with that.
It was trash on the internet.
Yes, it was not great for internet.
The internet was trash.
It was.
And I was like, it's trash internet. I don't have time for this. The internet was trash.
Yeah, I think you left out of Black. As soon as you could upgrade that phone, you were like, I'm out of here.
I'm going to catch you later.
I'm going to catch you later. I think I still had the BlackBerry for maybe a year.
Yeah, you still had it. I was like, look at you. I'm get out of here.
Yeah, and then eventually I think you convinced me to get a Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's when we started our Samsung run.
Yeah, and now we both got it. We're not on Team Samsung anymore.
No.
We're on Team Google.
We had a Samsung run for a while.
Yeah, because I think I got every Samsung up until, I think the last Samsung I had was like 7.
Yeah.
And you had the what, the 9, the 10?
No, the 7.
You had the 7? And then what did you get? No, you got the Pixel.
Yeah.
You got the Pixel, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your love it?
I love it might be the Sidekick.
Okay, I started to say that, but then I was like, that BlackBerry gave me a lot of good memories.
I did like the Razr, even though it was a flip phone, because I like the fact you can close it. I think that's what I liked about it, is like you can like, because you can't hang up on people like that anymore without like closing it.
That's the one thing I miss about like flip phones.
You can't hang up on people.
It's just hanging up on
people.
people.
You can't be like like people can't hear that you're angry.
Right. Like you just over there like, you know what? I'm done with this conversation.
Click.
Mad exits, mad time before your phone actually cuts off.
And the funny thing is, it's not that the people on the phone don't hear you angry. People around you don't hear you angry.
Right.
Because people like this, oh shoot, that person's angry.
Yeah, they slammed that phone shut.
Yes.
Shut, I say. Shut.
Yeah. So, but I like the Sidekick. But I will note that it was unacceptable to be out here using a Sidekick over the age of like 2021.
Right. Like
after you're 2021, you couldn't really use a Sidekick anymore. You look crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't a phone that had a like long shelf life for like a burgeoning adult.
Yeah, because you look crazy. They're growing up, you're like.
Yeah, it's like when you doing this with a phone?
You trying to do a twist?
When you doing like, you gotta evaluate what you're doing with your life. If you're doing this with a phone, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah,
you gotta establish what you're doing with your life.
Because like, but that's also the reason why I like the G1, because it was like a more grown up version of that, because it had the keyboard, and
it did have a keyboard.
Yeah, so yes. I had the push up keyboard.
That I did say that is one thing I did like about it. I think that's the other reason I didn't really like the Nokia or the Nextel or the Razr, is because like the keyboard was hard. Yeah. Trying to send text on those phones.
But that's also why I was frustrated with the BlackBerry, because going from a full keyboard to that little keyboard in BlackBerry, I was like, stupid.
It is.
I love you, Kristin, but this is stupid. This is stupid.
And you know what? That BlackBerry keyboard used to hurt my fingers. The way, because trying to text with that, oh my God, my poor little thumbs was on fire.
And I was trash because like,
hard phone.
And then when I got a BlackBerry, everybody stopped getting a BlackBerry. I was like, I got this for no reason. It's not even popular anymore. Why am I here? Why am I here?
You got it because you love me.
I did love you.
You did.
I did.
You still do, right?
No, I still do. But I'm trying to say I did love you. That's why I got the BlackBerry.
Just checking.
All right. That's fine.
Why the eye roll, friend? Why the eye roll?
But yeah, like the I think the T-Mobile Sidekick was cool.
Your love?
Yeah, I think Sidekick was cool.
Did you go to college with the Sidekick?
I did, and I think I had that Sidekick for like 2 weeks.
What happened to it?
Someone stole that Sidekick.
Oh, the T-Fit.
In the middle of a party.
Was it clipped onto your belt?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
probably
why.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
I was like, woo! Came to the party. I was like, oh, hey!
You were like, all the time I been hugging the block. Hey, that's right, hustling. And then they were like, oh, snatch that off your hip. That's not. You don't need that. I don't know if that was the song.
I would say that song came after.
I don't know, but it was stolen. The point is the phone was stolen.
It's like, hey, hey. So it was my fault that was stolen.
And like back then, there was nothing you could really do once your phone got stolen.
Yeah.
Like that was it. There's no find my phone. There was no anything. Your phone's just gone.
People just got your phone.
Somebody's just out there living their best life with your phone.
They got your phone. They switched the SIM cards, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, basically.
They
were like, free phone for me.
Switched SIM cards, and that was the end of it. I was like, yeah, okay, all right.
And that's it then.
All right then.
That's on that.
All right then. Okay.
That's that on that. That is that on that.
But it's like the Sidekick was cool though.
Yeah.
It had the internet and then like it had that like this is what the Sidekick was. It wasn't just because this flip swivel. It was like a light up swivel. It was just very kiddie phone.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the little rolling thing on the side.
Yes,
It seemed like a video game.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like it was good. Like it's my love it because I liked it, but it's just after it's good for under 21.
Right. Like as an adult, you're like, where was I really going with that?
Correct.
I understand. As a grown man, where you going with that?
Where you going with that?
Where you going with that?
Okay, so that's your love it or lose it. Love it or lose it. Hey, love it. Or lose it. Hey, love it. Or lose it. Hey, love it. Or lose it. Hey, 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 hey,
hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey, hey. All right, with the snaps. Didn't see that coming at all.
Ready to go into the topic? Oh, and also if you have any suggestions for a lover to lose it, you can always send it to us. We're always down for suggestions.
Word to be built.
Email us at alllovenofearpcast@gmail.com.
Gmail.
All right, and go.
Okay.
Topic.
I'm trying to find it.
Topic.
Is there a reason why you're putting your hand right in face of that?
It's a strong point.
Okay, so today's topic. So I was on the internet, like I tend to be, and Facebook specifically I was on, and I saw a post, and it made me say, oh, this would be fun to discuss on the podcast. So it's from Reverend Arlise Carson. She is a local New York City pastor. I don't want to give out too much of her information. Just go Google her yourself. But her name is Reverend Arlise Carson, and she actually came to our church and preached for Women's Day this year.
Probably.
Spring seemed like a really long time ago. We got to talk about how it seemed like last year, but it really was this year.
2019 was different.
Yeah, 2019 was a weird year. But yeah, she came and preached, and she was amazing, such a powerhouse. So she posted, and I friended her on Facebook after she came and preached, and she posts these really inspirational, thought-provoking things. So I saw this earlier this week, I want to say, and I was like, oh, let's talk about this. So she said, once we relinquish the need to make others love us, we can begin loving ourselves. Although this does not feel good, your soul, spirit, destiny, purpose, calling, position, and presence is worth the process. Go through it now so you won't have to suffer for it later. I was like, huh. And it really got me to thinking about how we kind of move in the world and how we sort of sacrifice loving ourselves and being good to ourselves to contort ourselves into positions to make other people love us. So I kind of want to talk about that as a thing. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
So I guess I think it's a multi-layered conversation. Mm-hmm. Because number one, the first thing is I think we always got to figure out who are we trying to impress, and what is that? Who is that person? Why are we trying to impress that person? What is that? Mm-hmm. What does that get from us? What does it get for us? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, because if we're just trying to impress random people, then it becomes a little different than if we're trying to impress friends, if we try to impress family. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying any of that is right or wrong. I'm just saying it becomes a different mindset. Mm-hmm. And everything, and I guess we as human beings, we have a need to be accepted. Mm-hmm. A lot of times. Person. And even though people always say no, I don't need myself. We have a innate desire to be accepted in something. Mm-hmm. So even the people who are I'm a Lone Ranger, mm-hmm. they want to be a part of the group of Lone Rangers. Mm-hmm. They want to be accepted in a group of other Lone Rangers also. Mm-hmm. Still. So it's no human being should be alone. Right. I don't think we were made to be alone. And I'm not saying relationships or anything like that. I'm just saying be in being fellowship in fellowship and relationship with people with somebody else.
Fellowship is such a churchy word, by the way.
It is. But it applies.
It does. But I just laugh at how churchy of a word it is.
Yeah, but I think that it's good to have somebody to agree with, because even like I said, the people who are outcasts enjoy at least being with the other people who are outcasts, even though they think we're the outcasts. But yeah, you're still a part of a group of outcasts. Mm-hmm.
Like the group name Outcasts.
Okay.
Bombs over Baghdad.
That's fine.
Bombs over Baghdad. Okay, I'm done now. It was in my head, so I just had to get it out.
That's fine. It's cool.
I feel judged.
No, just not today. Maybe tomorrow. But I do love you. I do. Love for you. Love. Okay. But what was I saying?
I don't even know. You were too busy judging me. You lost your train of thought. See how that happens?
But
See how that happens?
But yeah, like so. What I guess for you, do you how does that affect you? I guess.
I think if like when I read this quote, I had to stop and think about it. I feel like honestly for a very long time, far longer than I'm comfortable admitting to myself, I think I did spend a lot of time trying to do things to make other people like me and be pleased with me, as opposed to doing what I felt was the right thing to do for myself and for my own positive feelings towards myself. And I think it took me a while. I don't know if there was like a light bulb moment or just I don't want to do this. I don't want to live like this anymore, and I chose to do something different. But for a long time, I felt like I did operate in the I was more concerned with people pleasing than I was with
what people though. And I guess that's the question I'm asking.
What people?
Because like that, I think that matters. I think a lot of people go into like that conversation and like you make that statement, but like what people matters. Because like I think a lot of times people are like people around them sometimes.
Right.
So,
like I would say maybe like friends or associate, because friends is a reach. I don't. Anyway, probably like just friends / associates / people I was around or felt that I wanted to be like, I guess, or I felt wanted to see me.
So I guess does that come from a place of feeling that who you are wouldn't be accepted, so you have to change that to be accepted? I'm not saying consciously. I'm not saying consciously,
yeah,
but
I think that is part of it. I don't think that myself personally I've ever been able to 100% like be someone else. Like I think I've always been me at the core at the end of the day.
Okay.
But like I feel like I may have in certain circumstances and circles sort of tried to dim that a little bit and try to be more like going along with the crowd.
Okay.
For the sake of being liked, I guess.
Explain.
Like I'm trying to think of an example. I guess, maybe I remember when I was like a teenager, like I really kind of had like the if you can't beat them, join them kind of approach.
Okay.
And like when there was like a group of girls that were like always kind of mean to me, and no matter what I did, they just weren't nice to me. And I think at one point, like they kind of started in on somebody else and they kind of left me alone for a little bit. And so I was like, okay, well maybe they're like, since they're not bothering me as much, maybe I'll like try to, befriend them so they can see that I'm cool and that they'll like kind of keep this like leaving me alone energy. So I don't think I necessarily participated in them like being mean and bullying the other person, but like I didn't say, hey, y'all should stop doing this. Like I just kind of like sat there and like went along with it.
Yeah,
and like
I have,
and laughed along with stuff, and I'm like, I knew I wasn't really with it or it wasn't right, but it was like, and this is like I was maybe like 13, 14 at the time, right. And I'm like, I thought these were the cool kids, these were the people that I wanted to accept me, and so I felt like, oh, I have to like go along with whatever they're doing to like be part of the crowd. Which now I'm like, I don't even talk to them girls. I couldn't even tell you where none of them girls is at. So why was I even doing all that?
Yeah,
But at the time, it seemed like a really, really important, life-changing, big deal thing.
In high school, I've done the same thing. Like right. I've participated in demeaning somebody else for the purpose of
being down.
So I participated in that. And I think that in high school it happens, and like because in high school you think it matters, and reality doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Like how cool you are in high school matters zero. If any high schoolers are listening, I doubt it. But if they are, how popular in high school matters none.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
It matters zero.
It really doesn't.
It matters zero like 2 years after high school.
Like seriously.
not like far away. Just like usually right after high school, it doesn't matter anymore.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Because no one cares. No one cares. No one cares.
It's almost immediately.
Yeah, no one cares.
It doesn't matter.
Once high school graduation hits, like it's a non-factor.
It's almost immediately. It doesn't matter.
It's a non-issue.
But I guess the question I'm more asking is, how does that? How do you does that play out as an adult? I guess then, has that played out as an adult? Maybe not to that extreme.
Yeah, but I think it has played out as an adult in the sense of there have been like people or groups of people that I have kind of had a perception of them being one way, and I was like, oh, this would be a good group of people to align myself with for whatever reasons, whatever. But then when I am in a position where something's happening and I sort of feel like I have some questions about this, or I think this is wrong, or I think this is weird, because as I've gotten older, I got more vocal. I would almost feel like if I want to maintain a relationship with these people, I kind of have to sort of downplay my real feelings to not lose out on the relationship that I have or want to have with these people for whatever reason. So
I guess what you're saying is there'll be an instance when someone does something or something happens and you want to address it because you either are offended or didn't like what they did or something like that, and you downplay your response to it.
Yeah.
To I guess save the relationship.
Yeah. Because I feel like if I say something, then this jeopardizes the whole relationship, and I don't want to jeopardize the whole relationship over this one thing. So I feel like, I'll still say something, but it won't be as quote unquote harsh as what I really want to say.
Do you call that a negative?
It depends. To me, I feel like there is a point in time where you sort of have to choose your battles and kind of choose the things that you're gonna address and not address. Because there are some people like you're in relationship with them, and so you know that approaching certain things or bringing certain things up is going to lead to a fight because they're not the type of person that's receptive to critique. So it's like you kind of have situations where you have to choose whether you want to say something or not, and kind of be okay with whatever the response or consequences or whatever is going to be as a result of saying something. But I don't know if I necessarily think it's a negative thing. I think I don't know. I feel like it's a negative in the sense of I'm silencing myself for the approval or continued favor in the eyes of someone who I'm somehow placing at some high pedestal somewhere. But then at the same time, it's like I'm choosing to not be in a potential confrontation by saying something. So like it's kind of.
I guess I view that differently. I think I view it in terms of, so if I'm really close to somebody and something is offensive, I think I always want to figure a way to say something because I want to say something as a friend, but I have to find a way to say it so they will receive it.
Right.
And I think because I'm close with them, I will play the long game to do it. And I think it's okay to play the long game to do it, to make sure they don't do it.
Right.
Because you still want to maintain that friendship. And I don't think that has to do with like putting it on a pedestal as much as, or I don't think that has to do with trying to mute yourself as much as cater your response to it. It's like if something happens at work, right, and how you have to respond to it has to be acceptable for work, because if it's taken the wrong way, it might affect you negatively, right? I always believe that you should always address it, but how you address it matters. And I think the same thing with friendship, how you address it matters.
Right.
What it happens in relationships too.
Yeah, and
I think that I think when it comes down to relationships and with family, sometimes people are less inclined to have the filter. The more closer someone gets, the filter comes off, because I spoke about it when we talked about like the stages of group formation, the same concept. But it's just like in the beginning, and you're just trying to like play nice and trying to like say things the right way, because you want to make sure you don't know where the relationship's going to go, and if you don't want to damage where it might go. Right. But storms will have to happen for it to grow. Right. So, but how those storms are affected and how those storms play out will tell you how it moves forward and everything. So,
if it moves forward, yeah.
Correct. So like that's the reason. So I don't think it's wrong to cater your response for it, but I also believe that you should voice your opinion. Right.
And I think that was something that was more of a struggle in my 20s. I think now, not to say that I've got it all figured out at the ripe old age of 33, but like I don't feel like I look at any relationships or friendships I have at this point with that same like, well, I want them to feel this way, or I don't want to impact the relationship negatively, so I'm not gonna like I feel like I'm at the point now in my life where if I have something to say, I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna, again, like I'll choose my battles, because some things just aren't worth the conversation. Because one thing I don't enjoy, and if you know me, you know this, I don't enjoy repeating myself, and I don't enjoy having someone get spicy with me when I have not been spicy with them. I don't enjoy either of those things. So if me and you are friends and you've done something and
I'm your friend.
Oh God, yes, you are my friend. Okay. Yes, that's correct. You are my friend.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I'm good now.
Great. Because you seem very upset.
I am.
Are you upset or are you okay? Which one?
I'm good.
You're good, but you were upset. Slightly, but you're okay. You've pulled it together. I just want to make sure. But let's say we are friends, and you do something or you said something that bothered me.
Okay.
In the past, and I've spoken to you about it, and I approached you in a real loving, kind way, like, hey, you did this, and I felt XYZ way about it. Like, this is how I took it, whatever. And we have a conversation about it. And you tell me, all right, cool. I'm assuming we're taking it from here. This won't be a thing again. If it comes up again, now I'm like, okay, so I've already talked to you about this. And here we are again. Now I'm making a decision to like either say, I'm going to approach this again either the same way I did before or slightly differently. Or do I, in this moment, brush it off and say, oh, well, maybe this was like a fluke. Like, so I'm in a position now where this thing has happened again, and I have to make a decision about how or if I'm even going to approach it. So
I think it depends on where you want the relationship to go.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think
if I've decided in my mind that, you know what, I done told you already about this behavior and you keep doing this, obviously you're not, and this could be like total dramatic extrapolation, but that's fine. Obviously you're not the type of friend that's capable of being able to deal with me the way I want to be dealt with. Maybe you're not ready to be that level of friend to me. Let's just be the level of friend that you're showing me that you are right now. Maybe in the future you could show me that you can ascend to a different level of friend with me. But right now, this might be it. Because I don't want to keep talking to you about the same repeated behavior. So maybe the level of friend I'm looking for you to be, or the level of friend I think you are, ain't the level of friend you're capable of being right now.
Which is fine.
And if that's the case, I don't need to talk to you no more about something I already talked to you at length about. I might just, kind of not passive aggressively, but just kind of fall back a little bit in my interaction with you. Not like it's beef, like I'm ignoring your calls or anything like that. My energy is just different with you because I'm not going to keep putting myself in a situation for me to be uncomfortable or thank you or agitated because of a person's behavior. Like I just because I feel like at this juncture in my life I have a choice to be in relationship with someone or not in relationship with someone.
Only thing I would say is like I would usually try to give them at least 2 times. I'll at least try to say it one more time, only because people we're creatures of habit.
Yes, we are.
And sometimes, even if we really try, we still do things sometimes.
Right.
So sometimes I'll try to give them at least a second time, and because usually sometimes the second time people are like, okay, this person's really
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes people don't understand the urgency the first time.
Right.
So I think 2 times might make it better. That's the only thing I will say.
No. Now the reason I understand what you're saying, and I in a rational scenario, I would agree that 2 times is reasonable, but I don't know. I guess for me, I've found that in certain scenarios where I have done the 2 times, if the person hasn't listened.
No. After 2 times, then I understand why.
And it's like from the beginning, I should have known to not even be talking to you about this a second time because you don't listen. You don't listen.
I think it also depends on the severity of it too.
Oh, that's it too. Because there are some things that aren't that big of a deal where I don't mind having like a repeat conversation with someone.
Correct.
But definitely no more than twice. After twice, I don't know what we still talk about.
Yeah.
Because I speak English.
Because I understand if it's a severe situation.
Right.
If it's really offending me and everything.
Right. Absolutely.
So I understand.
Yeah.
With that, but
yeah.
I think there's definitely levels.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like for me, a challenge I have with the whole concept of feeling like I want people to love me or like me is I feel like my initial presentation to people is very like, or at least this is what I think. This could be wrong. Maybe people that have met me have a different thought pattern. Because I've never met myself. Like, I'm me, but I feel like the impression that people get of me off the bat is like, I'm chill, I'm funny, I'm, engaging, I'm whatever. And so I think when people see that, they have a perception of who I am based on that. And so then when, something happens and then I have to kind of be like, hey, whoa, hey, it's sort of like taken as this like sincere and deep affront to them. And then it's like,
so that's when you have so I can fight, right? Scenario.
People be talking like I can't, and I'm just like, okay.
So there's this concept, like, and I've seen other people do it, but it's like, you ever like someone like say something to you, and in your mind you're like, oh, this person said that because they don't think I know how to fight.
Right, like they don't think that hands can be delivered.
You don't think I know how to fight, so
I
I get why you said that because you thought I didn't know how to fight, so you thought you could just say things.
Right, which is always very confusing to me. And I wonder sometimes if it's because I come off as this very like happy-go-lucky, laughy person. So when I get serious with people, they're like, oh, she's mighty, she's aggressive. And no, I'm cool. If you cool, I'm cool. But when you start up with that. And the thing is, I'm never a first time around go hard in the paint individual, which is why I kind of feel like I get annoyed with the multiple conversations. Because like the first time I tell you something, like it might be a little light, but I'm also serious. If I got to tell you a second time, I'm not happy anymore. So if you decide to violate time 3, we can fight now. Because I've already told you twice to cut it and stop playing with me.
I want to point out that we're not promoting violence, but also
I could fight. That's the takeaway. No, but on some real stuff though, I feel like because of how I present to people initially, when I do kind of speak up and say something, sometimes they're like taken aback and like feeling like my approach is really aggressive, when it's just like, no, it's not fun and games anymore. I'm seriously feeling a way. And then when they respond in a way that is like hurtful to me, it makes me feel like
you don't care about my feelings.
You don't care about my feelings, and the love that we had between us as friends or whatever the case now is questionable to me.
Correct. And what you're saying is correct, because we've had scenarios. I'm not going to talk about the scenarios, but if you don't really
I can still fight. I just want to put it out there.
The concern a lot of times is, even if you say something and you're saying it out of emotion, if you're saying it out of anger, regardless of what it is, but you're still saying hurtful things, we're not going to now, because we're out of the emotion, I'm still going to talk to you different because you said those things. Right. Because you said those things out of emotion means you've thought of those things. Right. And like whatever it was. So like those hurtful things, it's very hard to recover from any of those hurtful things you say. Absolutely. Just because you're angry, you don't.
The Bible says sin not in anger.
I'll say
be angry and sin not. That's what it says.
Yeah, I'll say this. Just because you're angry is not an excuse to say what you want. Right. Just because I understand where you're coming from, it's still wrong. I understand where you're coming from in terms of you're saying you feel hurt, so you're trying to hurt the other person. Mm-hmm. But now you said something. Now it's over. Mm-hmm. now you've destroyed whatever it was because you're trying to. Because you felt so emotional, so you're like, I'm trying to hit back, but nothing comes back from that. Right. Like well, with me, like with other people might, it doesn't come back with that from me. Mm-hmm. With after you said those things, because like now I'm like, all right, now I hear what you're saying. Right. So like it's gonna be hard. Like it's certain friendships will not be repaired. Right. Like it's just like that.
Grand opening, grand closing.
That I've had based off of what to say. And like people have said certain things, I'm like, okay, so this is how you feel. Let's move on.
Absolutely. And, for me personally, I feel like when I was younger, and not just age-wise, but just in terms of maturity, when I was less mature, I would have still tried to engage with someone who had been that kind of way to me. Because in my mind, I'm like, because I'm very much a optimist. I like to see the best in people, even though they do things that are harmful. I still like to see the best in people, and I like to remember the good about people. But like Mark said, and so when I was younger, I feel like I would maybe have tried to not excuse the person, but be like, you know what, they're human. They had a moment, whatever. But now I'm sort of at the stage where I'm like, for me to allow you back into that space that you were in before this whole situation happened, that is a direct conflict of, that was indirect conflict of my love for myself. Like, I love myself enough to place a boundary between me and you after you violated, and not put you anywhere in the space where you can violate like that again. And whether you love me or like me as a result of me deciding to establish that boundary and keep it there, that's on you. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I've never extended anything but love and genuine friendship to you, and you violate, I don't, and I used to have very conflicted feelings about this, and sometimes I still do. I don't now feel that even though I'm a Christian and I'm supposed to love you, that you can be back in my space. Like, I can love you without you being back in my space.
Like, loving somebody and forgiving somebody doesn't mean that you have to invite them back into a place to hurt you again.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, because
it's like that's not. I don't think that agrees to the same thing. I think that you can say that if you are in pain, I will be there for you, and if you're in pain, I'll be there for you, but still not let you back into a space where you can hurt me again. Right. I think you can do both of those things at the same time.
Right.
I could be like, all right, you're in pain. I'll be there for you, but you will not be in a place where you can hurt me again.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want you in that place.
Right.
Because of where we were before.
Right. Because for me, I'm like, I think I would be one of those people who would sacrifice my own like comfort and well-being to show someone that I was a good person and that what they did was wrong. And to see, it was almost kind of like I was trying to get them to see, like, you know, that what's the word I'm looking for? That I wasn't this terrible person that they were being mean to, and that I was still worthy of their love. And so I felt like I would try to like reverse psychology, like love them into loving me back again so they wouldn't do what they did to me. And I finally had to be like, this is exhausting work for somebody else to do.
Yes, you can't
do it.
And that's not how things work.
And that's not how things work. And so I think now I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm genuinely loving myself and the space that I am in and want to be in. And so even though it hurts to like not be in relationship with people sometimes, because hurts is strong. Even though it doesn't feel great, because hurts, I'd be a liar if I said it hurts. I'm just kind of like, you acted up. I don't know what you want me to do. Because like sidebar, I'm an open-hearted, loving, giving person, but I'm also an Aquarius. And for those of you who believe in astrology a little bit, Aquarius people will give and give and give. But once we shut that door, it's shut, in the words of Cardi B, forever. Forever. Like Jesus Christ could tell me to talk to you again and I'd be like, I don't know. Let's talk more. Like I'm not interested. Like once I get to that point with the individual, I'm not interested anymore. And while it's uncomfortable, especially when you're in situations with individuals where you once had that kind of like relationship and now it's no longer like that, but it's not beef necessarily, but the dynamic is different. While it's uncomfortable, I'm like, I would rather this uncomfortableness than for me to still be in relationship with you pretending like what happened didn't happen and contorting myself to make you feel comfortable with the way I am and loving me authentically. Like, if you can't love me authentically as I am without me twisting into a pretzel, then we don't have to be in that kind of a relationship. And that's cool. But I think it's taken me a while to get there. But I also think that because I've started making that concerted effort to just kind of keep the same energy with people that they keep with me, when it comes to relationships, like I feel like who I am as a person has grown and changed exponentially, and it carries through so many things I was going to say, but I'm editing. But I think it carries through to like so many other aspects of my life, and I feel like I'm a stronger person for it because I've said, you know what? I love me more than my desire to have you love me too.
Yeah. So
yeah.
One thing I've had this conversation with you before.
Like you don't know what I started to say when I heard you say that, and I had to be like, whoa, pump it, dial it back.
I've had this conversation with you before, and I think I've said before that it took me a while to understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. Because because you're very strong cutting people off, and I had to understand where that comes from. And I think the reason why that happens is because it goes back to what you said before. You have expectations for people. Mm-hmm. So you expect someone to act a certain way. And when they don't act a certain way, it hurts you a lot. Mm-hmm. So to protect your own self, to protect your emotions, you're like, I have to cut that person off because it's I have to do that to protect my own sanity, protect my own heart, to do that. Mm-hmm. So like that, I realized that's what happened because like because you expect like. You're like, all right, I expect this person to do this, expect this person to do this, and when they don't do that, and they especially if they do things and it hurts you,
right,
and everything, like it's so much emotionally damaging that you have to cut the person off,
right,
to like be okay,
right,
because like you had so much expectations for that person,
right,
for in whatever capacity that you expected them to be in,
right,
and everything. So when they cross that line, it like you have to cut them off so you can be where you can be
right,
emotionally,
right,
and be on the right path. Right. I realized that like and like me just telling you like no, it's not going to work or everything. Like how I process things has always been different, and it's very jerkish. People always say it when I explain how it is, but like my initial reaction for people is to expect nothing from people, and I expect people to be trash. My initial expectation is people are trash.
Right.
I'm sorry. I apologize to you, everybody here. But my initial expectation is people are trash.
So you thought I was trash when you met me?
I expect everybody to be trash.
Expected me to be trash?
I expect everybody to be trash.
How dare you? How?
And then
I didn't expect you to be trash.
They have to. We have different outlooks on life. But
apparently, I'm Pollyanna over here, and you're just like you're the Grinch.
everybody's trash, but like, and everybody they do things to go up and level. So, for you, I'm not gonna say that everybody starts at 1, but everybody starts at like 3 or 4, and like sometimes they go up and down based off where it is. For me, everybody starts at like 20.
Okay,
and they have to gradually go up, and then one day they'll get to 1.
That's fine.
So like everybody starts, so like, and like maybe that's the last stuff I went through. I haven't like hashed out why that happens. I haven't really. I really haven't hashed out too much.
That.
Yeah, I gotta unpack that. But like, well, I automatically just assume that let's see what's going on, and then people gradually get there. Like, okay, you're here. Because like when I meet somebody, I'm trying to figure out where they are on the scale for me,
right?
Based off their actions,
right?
You have to prove to me that you're a certain way,
right?
And everything. I don't just because like I know, especially initial reaction, I'm trying to figure it out,
right?
So so when people do certain things, I'm like, okay, well you did that because you were trash, so I get it. You were trash in the first place, so I get why you do this.
You're just acting like what you are.
I get it. You're doing trash things. Oh,
right,
okay.
because you're trash. That's who you are. That's who you want to be. Like,
so like I said, I understand where you're coming from because you have different expectations,
right?
And I can't tell you to think like how I think.
Right.
That's not how you approach things.
Yeah, like I think
because you could. Let me finish.
Sorry.
Because like you said, you're an optimist, and like you're like, all right, I believe this person is going to be not trash. This person is going to be a good person, work it out. Person going to do this. And why wouldn't they do this? Doesn't make any sense. And it's like in your mind, you're like, this is, and like in your mind, you're not asking for a lot. You're asking for them to just do basic things, just to not be a trash human being. in your eyes, what a trash human being is. You're expecting certain people to do certain things, and when they don't do that, it hurts you because you're like, but this is why wouldn't you not do that? Hurt is dramatic.
Yeah.
And I know hurt is dramatic.
It perplexes me.
Yeah, but it hurts. It hurts based off of the level of what you're closest to them. That's what I'm saying.
Like I just feel like it's unfair. Yeah. In a sense because
but
I'm like
some people hurt. But some people
have hurt me. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
So
I guess my feeling is like it's just unfair because I'm like I haven't been this way to you.
Correct.
Why are you being this way to me? When all I've tried to do is be loving to you and get you to see why you should love me.
Yeah.
Why are you being this way?
But you also got to understand, it's a lot of factors of why people do certain things. Most of them have nothing to do with you. Most of them have nothing to do with you. I think it still picked it up.
Well, if they heard it, they heard it.
Most of the things have nothing to do with you. Like sometimes it's just someone's perception of you. It could be something based off of their perception of certain people, based off certain things you did, like they reminded them of certain of other people, and that it's like put you in that box immediately. Right. It could just be their just mood at that time and everything, and all those things have nothing to do with you. So you have every right to react however you want to react. But it could be it could be most things that have nothing to do with you, have nothing to do with your actions and everything from there.
Yeah. like I said, I just think that I've come to the point in my life where I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. I don't have the energy for maintaining relationships that are harmful to my mental health and to my concept of self-worth.
Correct.
And so if a relationship is making me question my self-worth, making me question who I am as a person, making me question my integrity as a person, or making me feel like I have to compromise my worth or integrity as a person in order to feel accepted or loved, then I just don't want anything to do with the relationship. It's really like, I'm out. I don't have to continue to. I'm out. Audi 5000. Peace.
Deuces.
It ain't no problem, and it's not no beef. It's not no. It's just I don't want to be here no more.
Word.
I'm out, and you know I used to feel like, oh, that's selfish. Oh no, I don't. I'm almost 34 years old. I don't have time to be playing games with people at this juncture in my life. I'm too old. I've given too much of my energy to individuals and situations that have sort of, for all intents and purposes, sucked the life out of me. And so...
I'm sorry. What? Continue. What? Go ahead. Continue. Go. Please, continue. Move on.
Was that sound effect necessary?
Maybe.
Okay. I was like, what is that? Because it sounded like a slurp.
No,
I was like,
it wasn't a slurp.
That's how it sounded. That's what I heard. It was alarming. Okay, alarming. But yeah, and it distracted me. I don't even remember what I was going to say. But yeah, I'm just at the point where I'm like, listen, I can't spend time worrying about whether you like or love me. Like Earlies Carson said, my purpose, my destiny, all that is too important and too great for me to be worrying about how people feel or what they think about anything about me. Like, I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know who God has made me to be.
Who God says I am.
What He says I am.
Where He says I'm at. I know who I am.
I'm walking in power. I'm walking in miracles. I live a life of favor. Hey,
I know who I am.
But yes, so I do know these things. And so it just, I think, like we said at the beginning, you innately have a desire to be liked. But the more I get older and wiser, the less I'm like concerned about that. The people that like me, that I'm worried about liking me, we all on the same page about liking me. If you're on the fence about liking me, I don't know what to tell you. Work it out. Talk to Jesus. I don't care. I don't.
Word.
I don't. I like me. Mark likes me. Avery likes me. I'm good.
Yes. I do like you.
I like you too.
Yes, I'm liked.
Yes. Yay.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. We just got real creepy at the end. We apologize. Again, like video, you don't like. This is what me and Mark do all the time. Like, this is not us putting on for the podcast. This is me and Mark talking all the time. So yeah, that's how we be.
Word.
That's how we roll. What else is on the docket? Because I can't see it. So what else we got on there?
Word.
All these dances.
Artist
Spotlight. Who did I have on here?
Artist Spotlight.
The good sis Brandy. Brandy Norwood.
Spotlight.
Ray J's sister, which is crazy.
Artist Spotlight.
Who would have thought that Ray J would have been the quote unquote more popular star of the two of them?
It's Brandy's brother.
It's Ray J's sister.
In the club.
Who's in the club? Is that a song?
Yeah, Ray J's song.
Which song?
Up in the club.
Bottles full of bub.
Yeah.
I was like, up in the club? What? Where? I had to think about it for a second, but now I know what you mean. So,
DJ's rocking. It's on tonight.
I love that song. Had a long day out.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
What is happening?
It's the best part of the song. Wait a minute.
I don't even know how you got here. Me is confused.
I apologize. Continue.
Truly, honestly, me is confused. So, yes, Miss Brandy Norwood. Yes, God. She is the vocal Bible. Ask about the good sis.
She be running.
Yo, Brandy, masterful. Do you hear what I'm saying? Masterful with the runs. She's an Aquarius like me, February 11th. Shout out to February babies. I think the other, we shouted out another Aquarius earlier this week, earlier this month or podcast season. Kelly Rowland is also an Aquarius. I believe her birthday is also February 11th. February 11th is a popular day. Actually, I know mad people born that day. But yes. Brandy, we have known about Brandy for the last 30 years. She has been out here in these streets singing. Remember when her and Monica had The Boy Is Mine? I definitely remember back then thinking Monica had the better voice. That was foolish of me. And there's no shade to Monica because I absolutely believe Monica can sing, but like the vocal quality of Brandy is really just there's nothing like it. There's nobody out there that's really really seeing it the way Brandy's seeing it. Brandy's 40 years old. I don't know how I didn't connect the dots that Brandy's that old, but she's also been out since she was like 13, so I guess it makes sense. Is that Brandy in the background? Yes. Play some of her tunes.
I don't know if you can. I guess I'll do the same thing and put the video.
Yeah, put the video. You got to put the video in the in our video.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but she's one of those like vocally like just unmatched. Like the girls of today that want to come out and be singers all list Brandy as one of their vocal influences. She be running, and her vocal control is amazing, because to know that she can do that but was giving us like almost doesn't count vocals. Like her voice is so soft, it's like baby hair almost. That's what I think of when I hear Brandy's voice.
Baby hair.
It's just like soft baby hair. That's what I think of when I hear like her earlier work. But like when you hear a song like Begging and Pleading that she sang like 2 years ago, the one with where she had like the 1920s themed video, it was like, OMG, like this girl really has like powerhouse vocals. And I really enjoy Brandy's voice. Like every time I hear her singing, I'm like, yes, I'm ready. Like she's about to give me everything that I need. I don't know what's been going on with her career though, because I feel like it's been really like, I feel like she hasn't found a sound as an adult. And I feel like she's still trying to figure it out. I feel like back in the 90s, she had like a very clear sound. And I think since she grew up, like that sound hasn't really like evolved into something that's like solid. And I think she's still trying to figure it out. I also don't know if I think Brandy wants to be a singer as bad as I want her to be a singer. That's out there in these streets. So
I think Brandy.
Also, Brandy don't need the money, so she don't really need to be out here touring and making music.
I think Brandy and Jennifer Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
They I know they're different kinds of people, but like.
Because I was getting ready to be like, what kind of comparison are you trying to make here?
I think that I think they both we're trying to find it. I think they both just need a person who can write a song for them.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And Brandy also probably need to get a new manager, but you didn't hear that from me.
Yeah, I think they both need someone to write a song for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like sometimes the songs that they choose, it's either a song that doesn't demonstrate their voice well, or a song that demonstrates their voice well is just not a good song.
Yeah, because I'm like,
so like it's always one or the other. Because like the songs that demonstrate Jennifer Hudson's voice well, but it's not really a good song.
Yeah,
and it's songs that are like just like basically, but it doesn't really show it off. So
exactly,
it's nothing that has like a good combination of this is what my voice is and this is a good song you want to jam to.
Yeah,
it's very rare that both go hand in hand.
Right. I agree. I think that's Brandy's struggle, is that she hasn't been able to find something that captures the dynamics of her voice, but also a jam. But yeah. That's the struggle that she has. And I also think too that she's at that weird age in the industry where the people who are out with her, not many of them are still around.
Correct.
Like Monica's still out here, but like of the Brandy era of people that was like big back then, like who's still out right now? So it's like the music is definitely...
She's a legacy act now.
She's a legacy act.
Yeah.
Like the music of today is not catered for a 40-year-old person. It's just not. And it's like
she goes towards maybe like the neo soul, because like there's a lot of neo soul is a lot of older people,
right? Like she can
like
get
the people on like used to be on BT what's it called, BT Soul, was it?
Yeah, I was about to say Uncut, but that's not it.
And then because like you had Avery Sunshine,
Lettucey, like those types of artists.
Like those people, they're usually a lot older, and they can ride with that. I'm not sure. I don't know what kind of career they have, so it's hard for me to gauge.
Right.
But like I think she's more in that league, in
that realm. Yeah. I definitely agree. I think I allegedly heard Fantasia and Jasmine Sullivan have a song that they're working on, and I'm ready to hear it because the three of them sing down, and I'm ready to get my vocal life. And I hope they put it out. But yeah, get into Brandy, man. Brandy got some real popping vocals. Go watch her on the internet. There's a video of her singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow in her bathroom from like a million years ago, and it's just like, yes, Brandy, come on, give the girls these well-placed runs. Yes, God. I mean, I guess if you're not into runs, maybe Brandy isn't fun to you, but yeah, she gives life. She does. Yeah. So go get into Brandy if you haven't gotten into her in a while. Just go get into her. She's great music. What else is on our docket? What else we talk about?
Let's see what else we got here. Going next after our artist spotlight, we have the Joe Budden live show recap.
Yes. So
Joe Budden live, Joe Budden podcast live.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw Mark and I's social media over these past couple of days, but we attended the live podcast of the
Joe Budden podcast
in the city.
It's at Beacon.
It was at the Beacon Theater.
It was packed.
It was pretty much sold out. There was like a couple empty seats, and by a couple I mean like 5. It was packed. It was a really, really nice venue. What would I say about the podcast itself?
The podcast itself was a live show.
The live show.
So what I realized, and having conversations with people when I said I was going, I think I had this conversation before, but like Black people are just getting into the whole podcast realm.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say just, I mean like the last 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of getting into the podcast realm, so like a lot of people don't understand. Like the concept of a live podcast is still weird to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that it's kind of breaking that with Joe Budden and the Read and stuff like that. It's kind of like breaking what that looks like.
Right.
Because NPR has been doing it for a long time. NPR has been doing it, like other people have been doing it, like live podcasts and everything like that. But it's a weird realm to be in, because like people are questioning like, what, are you gonna go and watch people talk? Why would I do that? Because like the concept it does sound weird.
It does.
It does sound weird.
Like it's not a talk show. It's a podcast, which is different. So
but like you get what I'm saying. Like so I understand. Like, but I think I'm glad that it's getting more popular because of it. I think the Read is one that kind of started it, but I think the Joe Budden podcast made it more like, it brought it to a lot of people who don't do podcasts at all, who've never done podcasts, or who didn't even do video, YouTube. He brought a different way.
The crowds at both live podcasts are very different, because I went to the Reed's live podcast earlier this year, like in February. It was cold.
Yeah.
And the crowds are very, very different.
Correct.
Very, very different.
Correct.
So it's just interesting to see the Black podcast listening demographics.
Yeah, because Joe Budden podcast is like, number one, it's a lot of Joe Budden fans.
Yes, it's a lot of Joe Budden fans.
Joe Budden fans are different.
Right, they're definitely rap fans.
Yeah.
And they're definitely hip hop fans.
Yeah.
The people that listen to the Read are more like general pop culture fans. They also probably are more of the LGBTQIA community membership, because both Kid Fury and Crystal are part of the LGBTQIA community. So you see a lot more of those people at their podcast. And I feel like you also see a younger crowd at the Read podcast.
Probably.
Joe Budden podcast, I felt like I saw more like 30s, over 30s.
Yeah.
The Read, definitely you saw some like
Joe Budden's an
young
old 30
20s,
kind of person.
Yeah. But
they call Rory the young one, and he's like 28.
Yeah.
Well, he's been 28 for like 5 years. But.
No, Rory got to be 30 by now. But it was really, really a good time. They did start a little late, which was a little annoying, but whatever.
What I guess before you, well, I'll let you describe it first. Now I ask you one question. Go ahead.
So, excuse me. The way they opened it with a what's the word I'm looking for? Like an intro from Belly, where they kind of had, because I don't know if you follow Joe Budden podcast, you'll see like when they're like promoting their live shows and stuff like that, they'll do little sketches from different like shows or popular videos and stuff like that. So like when they were promoting their shows earlier this year, they kind of had a The Office vibe going for one of them.
Promoting that show.
Yeah, they had an Office vibe going, and then there was another video they did earlier this year. Oh my goodness, I can't remember what it was. Like Family Matters, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
They did that. So they had like a Belly, you know the Belly intro, if you've ever seen Belly, when Nas and DMX and all of them walk inside the club and it's playing However Do You Want Me?
Yeah.
However Do You Need Me? And it's like, you know, they got the little slow motion. Like, it was really, really cute, the intro. They came out and, you know, they kind of introduced themselves and, you know, kind of got the podcast going. I think it was I don't know, I kind of got the impression that it was a little weird, like having the conversation that you would have in like a contained room with like your four friends, as opposed to like it's your four friends on a couch on a stage in front of like 3,000 people.
Yeah.
So like the energy was different because as someone who listens to their podcast, like I could tell that it was kind of like, and they're very introvert kind of guys to me.
Yeah.
So like it kind of felt like it started off a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, but eventually they kind of picked up the energy.
Yeah.
And got into it.
Yeah.
But I think the first 5 minutes it felt a little like awkward.
Yeah, I think it's funny because like I think they mentioned it before, like on the podcast, where like it's like they have inside jokes themselves that like everybody else is on.
Right.
So it's a weird thing because like because like when they're together, they just look at their friends talking.
Right.
But like everybody else, you know, in the same jokes and everything.
Right.
So like I think they said when they first doing a live podcast, it was weird. It's a weird feeling, and I feel like that's a weird feeling. Like,
yeah.
Let's say like you joke around with your friends all the time, and then you start doing that on stage, and everybody else understands your jokes and talking the same thing and laughing.
Right.
And it's like everybody, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the whole vibe of the podcast was they did like I stepped out for a second to be on a phone call. That was a random sidebar. But so I missed part of it. But when I came back in, they were doing, and maybe you can fill in what happened during there. But when I came back in, they were doing not Truth or Truth, like
I'll explain.
Spit Your Game, something like that.
So before they did that, of course, they were doing like their little
like
they talk about different topics. They talk about different things. Talk about the year and everything was going on in 2019. They talk about all that stuff, crazy stuff going on. And then they did an intermission, and then they basically had "Do You Still Got It?" Is what they did. So basically, what they did was they brought up a couple and then two single people, one guy, one girl. And what you do is like you have a couple. The guy went first, and he has to kick game to the girl and see if they and his girlfriend would judge her to see if he still got it. And the same thing would happen with the girl. Would try to kick game to the guy and see if she got it. It didn't go as well, I guess. It's probably what previous ones. Because it was funny when the guy was going, how his girlfriend was like, he did it. I was like, yo, he don't do too much. She might hit you. Might want to simmer down. Might want to simmer down.
Don't overdo it, bro. Don't be a hero.
And like the girl, she didn't do too much either. But like Roy was saying, she was like, yeah, this goes back to my initial thought pattern that women don't have game.
Yeah, I think I walked back in when they were doing that.
Yeah, because it was funny, but like they try to do things like that, and then sometimes they used to do in the other shows. They do Truth to Truth, basically saying like ask a question, you got to say there's only truth or truth. There's no other options. There's no dare. It's just truth or truth, and you got to ask a question and they got to say the truth and everything. And then they did For the Love of Joe and For the Love of Maul, where they have it's like just like how For the Love of Ray J, I guess they have.
Yeah,
they have people up there and they're trying to I guess because they're both single now, so they're trying to talk to them. What? But yeah, like I guess I wanted to ask you. I was like, what I guess what when you look at live podcasts in terms, and then you look at our podcast, what I guess do you see that? What do you want that to happen for us?
Yeah.
And like I guess How do you see that looking?
I would like to have like a live podcast like situation happen. I definitely would want to have it be like have crowd participation in it for sure. Like I don't know if I would do like a do you still got it type of game or something like that, but like I definitely would like some type of crowd participation. I also feel like I would almost want to like kind of like do like Oprah Winfrey and like go down in the crowd myself and like
talk to people
and do stuff like that. I feel like that would be a lot of fun. I also would like to like do like just like how we talk about artist spotlight. Like I would love to have like at some point either as an opener or as part of the live podcast like some artists come and like do something. Like I would like to have something like that as well. That would be cool.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, but I would definitely love to do like a live podcast, and I would definitely like to have like a live podcast with like some guests, not just like me and you, but like somebody else there.
Yeah, we got friends.
Or somebody else's. Yes, we got friends. We got amigos.
We got friends. We can do this.
We know people.
Word.
Yes. Yeah, but I think overall the experience was really good. I just wish that they had more time, but you know they had to get the heck out of the Beacon Theater by a certain time, so it didn't go on as long as it could. And I got the impression that they would have gone on longer, because I mean, if you listen to the Joe Budden podcast, their podcast be 3 hours long, every episode almost, and I think in total this was like maybe 2 hours.
Word.
Yeah, about 2 hours. Yeah, like a little under 2 hours. So I felt like they could have gone on longer, but like it was a really good experience. I would go again. Maybe not to the Beacon Theater, but I would go again.
Okay.
The exit from the Beacon Theater, child. The exit we took, somebody said it was very Underground Railroad-esque, and I don't disagree. We was walking down some long tunnel that was real narrow, didn't have no openings. It was stampede hell, really. If it was ever to be like a situation where there was a stampede, people would have died in that dangerous hallway.
The exit was a little tragic.
I'll never do that again. Because if something had gone down, we'd have just been trapped in that tube.
Word.
I didn't like anything.
You didn't like
that.
it? No.
No.
I like it either. I'll be honest.
I was like, why? But you can't turn around.
Yeah.
It was not.
It was a little crazy.
I didn't like it. But overall, I thought the podcast was really, really good. And, Sin popped out, and I was just like, oh, okay. I thought y'all was broken up. Why she here? I'm confused. But that's another story. I don't believe they ever broke up. Mark says they did. Whatever.
There's no reason for me to believe that they didn't break up. Just because they're like around each other doesn't mean that they broke up. Like I feel like I'm of the belief that they want to co-parent effectively. And if you want to co-parent effectively, you will be around. Yeah. You can't be that hostile toward each other.
Right, but why is she on the stage? Why you brought her here? For what?
No, I don't think he did. I think she just came on stage.
She just came up there.
Because like they mentioned it on the podcast.
They were like, oh, we're scared of her.
Yeah, they mentioned on the podcast, like, there was like, why is she there? She was like, yeah, because she was like, I'm coming. And they was like, okay.
Right.
It was like, I'm not going to say no to her.
Right, like they were like, we're scared of her, so we're just going to... just we're not in this. It was interesting, though. Like, I thought their outfits were also funny. I don't know what these pants were that Rory had on. Like they were like they had like vertical stripes. I didn't understand what was happening. Joe came out there in like a hat with a feather and a coat with mad fur on the.
Parks was wearing red. Look at him.
Parks was out here in red Levi's with a Christmas hat, a la what we got going on here. I think Parks might have had the best outfit of the evening. I don't know. And Maul, I can't remember what Maul had on, but I don't really know if I liked it that much. But Maul's mad weird. But it was a cool time. I feel like next time we go, I would want to do like a meet and greet or something.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going down to the front of the stage. Because they look like the type that hang out on the stage after the event. Like they don't immediately like walk off. Like they stick around and talk to the people. But I was like, I'm not going down there to try to get up there.
Yeah,
I won't do it. So maybe next time if we go again, I would try to get closer to the front so that I could actually like interact with them or do the meet and greet or whatever. Yeah. But like they seem really cool, and they didn't seem like. They didn't act like we're these big stars and we can't talk to anybody. Like, they just acted real normal.
Yeah.
Because I saw as we were leaving, they were, like, down in the front, like, talking to people that were down there and shaking hands and doing whatever. Like, they weren't acting industry.
Look at Joe Budden growth.
Growth.
Joe Budden's growth. Because Joe Budden was not about people for a long time.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, everybody up there is introverted. So they're kind of like people, though.
People. All these people is crazy. Craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. if you have an opportunity to go to the Joe Budden Podcast Live, I would strongly recommend. Go do it.
Right.
What else do we have on the agenda?
Next, we have Carol Sanchez.
Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So last week, an Amber Alert went out for a young lady, Carol Sanchez, in the Bronx, who was allegedly snatched off the street and thrown into a white van while she was walking down the street with her mother. The mother may or may not have gotten punched in the face in this altercation. But an Amber Alert went out. Everybody was looking for this girl. I think she was maybe missing for like a full day. And then the second day into her being missing, she walked herself into a police station. And, everybody's like, oh, my God, she's been found safe, blah, 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 blah. Then a couple of hours later, the story comes out that the whole kidnapping may have been a hoax. So I was like, okay, let me see where this is going. So then the full story comes out that the girl planned this kidnapping with her 23-year-old boyfriend, because I think the mom, what I read, I don't know if this is confirmed, but what I read was the mom was considering a move back to Honduras, which is where the family's originally from, because I think the mom is here illegally. Based on the story I read, the mom is here illegally and has been served like an ICE deportation notice. And so she's choosing to self-deport before they come get her. And so she was going to go back to Honduras. I guess the daughter didn't want to go back to Honduras because I'm assuming she is, American, born here. This is all she knows. So she figured, oh, well, if I stage a kidnapping to get away from my mom and avoid going to Honduras, like nobody's gonna make a big deal of it. It's just gonna be I disappeared. And the responses that I saw on social media in response to this information coming out were very interesting. So I just want to say a few things. First of all, the way that we as human beings will change our tunes is amazing. People literally went from, oh my God, black girls matter, human trafficking is like negatively impacting us. Like people had so much pity for this girl when they thought she was really missing. And the minute they found out that she had sort of orchestrated this whole thing, she needs to be beaten till her skin comes off. She needs to be shot. Her mom needs to take her phone and take her this and just send her back to Honduras. Like, just the vitriol. Like she did this to you personally. I just don't even understand how you went from one day being so concerned, sending thoughts and prayers, to this girl needs to die, pretty much. If that was your response, I just want to be the first one to tell you are trash. You are absolute trash. Like, you have a right to be upset because nobody likes to feel like they were led on and made a fool of. I understand that. But you don't know this girl personally.
It was about you.
It wasn't about you. And you don't know this girl personally to be this mad and demanding that she be beaten and shot and all these other things. You're a trash human being. Whatever thoughts and prayers you were sending, please know that I hope God rescinded them, because your prayers are fraudulent. If you were praying for this girl to be found and then turn around and wish death upon her, you fraudulent. I'm sorry.
This is what I don't understand. I just don't understand, like when these extreme things happen. Once again, I talked about this before. It's like it makes you force you to like defend something you didn't want to defend in the first place.
Right.
Because the person she was wilding.
She was wilding. She was wrong.
But now I'm forced to defend her because y'all wilding.
Because y'all are wilding. And here's the thing.
We're forced to defend her because y'all don't know how to just like chill.
Right. Here's the thing. Y'all and people are out here calling her female Jussie Smollett like, and making all these memes and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is not a joke. Okay, nothing about this is funny. This girl is dead wrong for what she did. But number one, she's not setting black people back. Setting us back from where? Every time I saw somebody say, "Oh, she's setting black people back,"
she's
from
16.
Where? From what?
She's 16.
What is it that black people have exactly ascended to that this girl doing a hoax is setting us back from? Hold on, nothing. Y'all need to stop it. She's not setting us back from anything.
She's 16.
So I don't understand what y'all talking about. Second of all, she's 16. We're not going to sit up here and act like we haven't all been 16 at one point and plan some stupid things. I've never thought, well, let me plan an abduction. That's never crossed my mind.
I don't know why.
That's some new-ish right there.
And then punch my mother in the face is a lot going on.
Right. But Also,
but so
when I was 16, I absolutely thought I had life figured out and I was going to go out here and do whatever. And, you know, I was dumb. So I believe that this was a legitimate, genuine 16-year-old,
doing stupid
young,
things.
dumb, didn't think the plan through at all whatsoever.
She didn't know that it was going to go like nationwide like this.
Right. Like she could not have seen that it was
She
going to go
thought it
like
was
that.
going to be like a quick thing.
She's just like, I'm a little old girl from the Bronx. Ain't nobody going to be worrying about me.
Especially if it's 24 hours later.
Right. I'm moving on.
Like she saw it blew up. She was like, "Oh, it's crazy."
It's just right. Oh, this got crazy. And then people were like, "Oh," and people. I just want to say this. Some of y'all just need to admit that y'all hate women and that y'all hate black ones specifically, because the first thing people said, "Oh, she just wanted to go be young and hot-tailed and fast with that 23-year-old boyfriend." Let me explain something to y'all. Yes, that 23-year-old man is wrong, 100%. He don't have no business talking to a 16-year-old. No business. What he got to talk to a 16-year-old about? Nothing. That's what, nothing. But also, y'all ain't gonna sit up around me and lie and act like when y'all wasn't in high school, ladies, having a dude that wasn't high school aged, that was a little older, that had a car, don't act like you didn't think you was the bomb diggity because you was talking to some man that was 21 or 23 or 25 or 30. I went to high school here. I remember my friends who had boyfriends that was grown men, okay? Grown men.
It wasn't on social media.
It wasn't on social media, but they was definitely dating some grown men. Grown men. And that was just the vibe back then. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that was the vibe. So don't sit here and act like this little girl is doing some new stuff that we ain't all seen when we was in high school in the 90s and the thousands. They still doing this. I still think he's wrong. I still think he's out of control. But to say that this girl planned all of this just so she could lay up with her boyfriend, I'm like, all right, y'all just think y'all are making everything about sex and sexual relationships. And to me, I don't think this girl did all of that just to lay up with the man somewhere. Now, I'm not saying that I know what's going on in her home life as well. But for you to be sitting up here planning a whole kidnapping, sis, I have to have some questions about what's going on. Like, why do you feel like this is the next appropriate step? Why do you feel like whatever's going on in your home is so serious that you need to plan a kidnapping? Like, I'm not saying the mom is abusing her. I'm not saying anything like that. For all I know, the mom could just be a super strict West Indian parent, which all of us that are West Indian or African can relate to. But to go that far, I have some more in-depth questions into like what's going on in that house, what's up with that girl's mental health, like what's going on.
Like it could
what's
also,
going on?
It could also just been like
I have some questions.
Because if it had to do with like the deportation, that could have been that also.
Right.
A lot to do with that also.
Right. So I'm just not on the let's like drag this girl through the mud. Let's like call for threats on her life and stuff like that. To me, like none of that is necessary. She didn't do nothing to me personally.
Yeah.
She didn't. She really didn't. She didn't do nothing to me personally. She just told a big lie, got caught in it. And to me, I felt like she at least owned up and went and said, she went and turned herself in as opposed to digging herself into a deeper hole and having this go on even longer. She went and said, okay, this blew up far beyond what I expected.
Sure, let me
just go turn this whole thing down. Right. Like, I'm just like, what I'm trying to figure out, honestly, in the whole situation is actually convinced these grown adult men to help her participate in this.
Correct.
None of them said, girl, this is dumb. Nobody said, this is really stupid. You should not do this. You really should not. So my whole thing is, you know, blame needs to be placed on this young lady because she did, in fact, do something like irresponsible and wrong. But at the same time, I'm like, y'all got to stop acting like somebody died or like because she faked a kidnapping that suddenly no one cares about black girls being kidnapped. They already don't care.
Yeah.
It's not like people were like, oh my God, little black Becky. There's no black Beckys. But little black girl got kidnapped. We are so concerned. And now that Carol's done this, we don't care about those little black girls at all. They never did. They never did. So I don't understand what she's affected by doing this. I don't understand. You people are crazy if you think that this happening has made people care less about black girls and women being missing and being kidnapped. It's not true. It's not true. Just admit that you don't like that she made a fool of you and keep it pushing. But we don't have to do all that. All the other stuff y'all talking about.
Okay.
What else is on the agenda? I know we got to roll.
We can't do everything here.
Okay, what else? Let me see what else is on here. So we gonna breeze too quick. So apparently this is the week of nudes and sex tapes. Allegedly Steph Curry and ASAP Rocky got nudes and sex tapes out, and apparently I was reading this morning. The Baby also has like nudes out. Who's doing nudes in 2019? Who? In the year of our Lord 2019, people are still doing nudes? Like for real? Jesus didn't die on the cross for y'all to do this, man. He didn't.
Well, everyone's doing FaceTime, so.
Jesus wasn't born on Christmas Day for y'all to do this. He came to the world to make it better, just so you, not so you Negroes could be doing nudes and sex tapes. I don't have time. There's no excuse for anybody to be doing this in 2019. Just stop sending naked pictures places, please.
It's probably happening more often now because it's easier to do it. You can do it to yourself.
How many people's clouds got to get hacked before y'all stop doing nudes?
It's not gonna stop. People doing FaceTime. It's not happening. It's not stopping. Just move on. It's not stopping. I
can't take it. Stop it, everybody. So I'm gonna just say this real quick. People got to stop being so easily outraged and dragging everything. Kim Kardashian did a photo shoot, and in one of the photos in the shoot, her skin looks really dark. Her features look, very African, and Kim is definitely a white woman. And so people were up in arms like, she's doing blackface, blah, 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 blah. And I was just kind of like, okay, here's the thing. I don't know that I think, and I'm not a Kardashian fan by any stretch of the imagination. I don't pay attention to them girls unless you people force me to. My thing is, I saw the other photos from that shoot, and Kim looks like her normal complexion. She's not pale. She's tan. She's tan. She tans. That's fine. But the other photos from that shoot, her skin looks normal. So my question is, why is this specific image the one that they chose to put out with her looking like this? I'm like, did Kim approve this image looking like this? Did she see this and say, yes, I think this is okay, put this out? Did she not know what it looked like and they put it out anyway? I'm tempted to conclude that Kim Kardashian is someone who's very particular about her own image. And so she probably saw this photo, didn't think it was going to be that serious, and said, okay, no problem, put that one out. I will say this. Kimberly played herself because she knows that she is high on the list of people to be dragged for every single thing she does. And she's married to Kanye West, which adds another layer of her just being dragged for the sake of being dragged. So she should have been more responsible and told them to fix that picture before putting it out.
Yeah, anything to do with black people will always be dragged.
Right. Anything to do with black people will always be dragged. She already was like trying to put out some product and call it a kimono. Like Japan ain't had kimono since Japan been Japan. So I'm like, I see what you was trying to do with the play on your name, sis, but like you're not going to take kimono from the Japanese. That's just out of order. Stop it now. So you did that a couple weeks ago. People dragged you for that. They dragged you for them boxer braids, quote unquote cornrows that black people have been doing since forever. Like you've just been dragged for doing like things that are culturally insensitive and inappropriate. So you had to know that when you put out this image, you were going to get dragged. However, I don't sincerely believe that her intent was to be presented as a black woman. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the image, I thought it was a black woman. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, is it like, one of them black models? Because I don't know who all these young black models be. I just be seeing them on the Victoria's Secret things. I'd be like, oh, that's Jordan Dunn or Joan Small. So I'm thinking it's one of them or some other black model I don't know. Then when I heard it was Kim, I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. But yeah, I like blackface. I'm like, I don't know if I'm willing to go that far. And I'm not no coon. I'm not no, race apologist or whatever y'all want to call it. I just was like, I don't know if I think that's blackface. Like when I see them Halloween costumes of them people with shoe polish on their face, oh yeah, that's blackface. Rachel Dolezal / and what was her damn name?
Nobody cares.
Whatever her mixed up African name is, that's blackface. This picture, I'm like, I don't know. And at the end of the day, I don't know. You never know how much was Photoshop. Right. Like I don't know what the editing looked like.
When it comes down to stuff like that, you never know how much is Photoshop. You don't know if like she was like it was all this going on. Like you never know.
And also at this point, I'm like, is this the thing I need to be spending my outrage on? Like I don't care about this. This is not the thing I care about.
People's outrage tank is empty.
My outrage tank is empty, and I'm not available to give any more. So if she blackfaced, she got a black husband. He should talk to her about that. That ain't my business. Well, he's silver. Didn't you see the picture? He's silver.
No, we're not. No, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, we are. We are gonna do it. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was on SNL for the first time in 35 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, because the last time he was on there was in 1984. Then he chucked the deuces. He was on last night and he hosted. It was hilarious. He brought back all his old characters like Gumby and Buckwheat and stuff like
Mr.
that.
Mr.
Robinson. It was hilarious. I don't want to spoil it for people, but it was hilarious. When he introed, oh my goodness, Tracy Morgan came out, Chris Rock came out, Dave Chappelle came out. I love Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is a genuinely funny individual. Like, he don't be trying to be funny. He just is. Like, the stuff he says, like, just off the cuff, hilarity. But Eddie Murphy did such a good job. I don't want to spoil the jokes, but like, you can go find them on YouTube. But he had some digs for Bill Cosby. It was just really, really good and refreshing to see.
Cause I remember when they did an interview, like, because him and Bill Cosby had real beef.
Like real beef.
Yeah,
like,
for a long time. Because like Bill Cosby was always saying that like, Eddie Murphy and them, they're too raunchy. They need to like be better, better family oriented.
Right.
In terms of their comedy and everything. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting.
Absolutely, it's
we
interesting.
We don't ruin the joke, so you'll go from there.
Yeah, go watch it. All go watch it.
Want to go to the next one?
What was the next one? So y'all president, they have moved to impeach him. People were really excited. I was just on social media like, okay, I don't anticipate that he's leaving the office. Yeah,
because most people after their like people were impeached, they were like moved like I said. Bill Clinton was impeached, but it was also his last term.
Right.
And also when he got to the Senate, it was dismissed. Mm-hmm. Nixon was impeached and he just left after.
Right.
And everything. So, and I think there was an SNL sketch which was really hilarious, and it was like how this is before this happened, where Donald Trump will be 100% impeached and 100% reelected.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I did see that.
And I died laughing.
Yeah.
Because like that most likely might happen.
And one of the sketches they did last night, they basically said that.
Yeah, because like it's because it doesn't matter if everybody in his base and everybody who voted for him, it doesn't matter if he's impeached, then impeachment doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It only matters if people have heard it and then cared.
Right.
It only matters if people heard the evidence and changed their mind.
Right.
And if no one changed their mind, that it doesn't matter as much.
I mean, the Republicans have already said when it hits the Senate, they're voting to acquit him.
Correct. So the impeachment actually doesn't matter. Like in historical, maybe like to a historian it matters.
Right.
And everything, but he could be impeached and still be reelected.
Yes, it's completely within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting to see the back and forth about people who didn't know what impeachment was, and then people were acting all classist and egregious and being like, well, didn't you go to U.S. history? Impeachment means this and and so that turned into like a whole like social media war. I'm like, Jesus of Nazareth.
And what's funny is I feel like people were acting snotty, like they didn't just look it up.
Right, like
like you just looked it up. Simmer down.
Yeah, because most of us actually don't remember anything from U.S. history in high school. We don't remember. We don't know. We all got to get on Wikipedia like everybody else.
Yeah.
Like
simmer down.
Simmer down. Just simmer. Just simmer. Simmer down. Just simmer. I just want everybody to just relax. Because I'm like, people are like, yeah, get him out of office. And put who? Pence? I don't like that.
That dude's insane.
I don't trust that at all.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's just been sitting in the background like,
let's see what happens.
I don't like it. That man plotting and scheming, child. Plotting and scheming. I don't like it. I don't trust him.
And then if Pence leaves, then what is it? It's isn't it still like that other crazy dude with the glasses? Turtle dude?
Not that turtle. Mm-mm.
So like
you just got to cancel the whole government.
So I'm like, so who really wins?
Where's Barack? What's he doing? Is he available?
He's not coming back, Kristin. Let it go.
No, I won't.
He's not coming back.
I won't. I just saw him the other day, like walking in the park and holding somebody's baby. He's around. He's not coming back. He's around. He can. He's not coming
back. Michelle and Barack are staying far away from that White House. They have no desire to ever go back to that White House.
But see, here's the thing: Barack don't have to be like at the White House. He can just come like 3 days a week.
He don't want anything to do with that.
He can be a part time.
People didn't like him when he was in there. People his own party like him. Black people didn't like him. He's not coming back.
So what is our alternative? Because right now I'm not seeing anybody in that list of people that they have right now that's appealing to me in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to not vote because that's stupid. But right now nobody's jumping out at me. And I'm just kind of like, okay.
We got to go. But like I think I've realized the reason why I don't like anybody. Nobody has vision.
Yeah.
Nobody got no vision.
Yeah, ain't nobody telling me nothing.
Like the big issue between Donald Trump, like, I don't get no vision.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows his vision.
Mm-hmm.
None of these candidates have a vision. Like, what are their vision of what America looks like? No one can tell me what that is. Everybody's talking about what they want to do, what they're trying to do. But to get people on board with stuff, you need to have a vision, and no one has a vision. The reason that people were excited about Barack Obama because he had a vision.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can. Si se puede.
Yeah, and I think without a vision is the biggest issue.
Yes.
Because you don't have a vision of what America should look like.
Because the Bible says that without a vision, the people perish.
Yes. But I think when you don't have a vision, it becomes it's hard to get people behind anything. Because you don't have a vision. And I think you have to be without to have vision also.
You have to be what?
Without to have vision.
Without? Okay. That's an interesting perspective.
I think you have to, like, if you feel like every time you wanted something, you just got it, it's hard to have vision.
That's valid.
Because you feel like, oh, I'll just get it. Why do I have to dream about what needs to happen? So, like I have a dream speech or stuff was vision because it was like because
I've been down at the bottom
because I feel like everything is crazy. I have to have a vision about what I think it could be. If I think everything is cool, I have no need for a vision.
That's an interesting perspective. We should have a podcast. We should talk about that.
We should have a podcast.
No, we should.
We should have a podcast.
I wanted to say we should have a podcast discussion about that.
About what specifically?
What you just said about getting so comfortable with what's going on that we don't feel the need to have a vision.
Yeah,
like that's really, really interesting. I've never thought about that. That's why I'm with you because you're smart. You're so smart. So smart. Because,
like, I think that's the concern. Like, if you feel as if everything is okay, you're not gonna have a vision because you're like, oh, I just need to fix certain things to be okay. You don't think you're not thinking with a vision for something new.
Yeah.
I think that's anytime you have a new leader. It's hard to get behind a leader without a vision because you think they're just doing things. You don't know why they're doing things. You just think they're doing things just to make someone happy. We talked about before. You're just doing things just to like appeal to certain things because we don't know what is your mission. You don't know what your mission statement.
Right.
Mission statement is.
We don't know your mission statement. Your vision statement. We don't know.
You don't know what is your basis for doing things.
Right. We don't understand.
So if we see that it goes towards that, like, okay, we see where it's going towards.
Yeah.
What is your vision statement? And I think a lot of people don't know what that vision statement is, and like none of the candidates, including the current president, has a vision statement or a mission. So it's hard to get behind anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
What is your vision?
Yeah,
and everybody's just talking about things that they want to do.
Right. Everybody's talking about let's beat Trump, but I'm like, okay, and then what?
Yeah, the only thing they're talking about with healthcare, but like that's still an item. That's not a vision.
Right. I need a vision, sis.
What
a 2020 vision.
What is your vision of what does America look like?
Donald Trump. But speaking of visions, just one last thing and then we can go. So the movie Cats, I think I talked about it on this podcast before. I didn't like the previews when I saw it. It was kind of creepy. It made me very nervous to see like Jennifer Hudson, Idris Elba, that demon Taylor Swift, and
that demon,
yes, and some other famous folks like James Corden in like these CGI looking cat ensembles, but with their human faces. It was really, really creepy and disturbing to me. And speaking of vision, I don't seem to know what the vision of the movie was for the director, but one of the reviews said Cats is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs, and that just gave me the giggles. Okay, the way people are dragging cats on social media, somebody said, I felt the light inside me slowly fading. Like somebody said, Cats, the movie is terrible. A descent into madness, while at the same time showing you what the gates of hell might look like. This is the best way to torture someone. This comes from someone who can appreciate the musicals. I did burst out laughing when the first cat jumped out singing. It's just like,
I think
by the time I left the theater, I wasn't even sure what a real cat looked like anymore. Ugh.
This is why I know it's weird.
Jesus,
because
garbage.
I remember when they first announced the Cats musical, and I remember being a child looking at that like that looks weird, and me saying never would I would see that.
Yo.
And then when the movie was announced, I was like, well, why would they do that? Because I never wanted to see the musical, and it also made me realize that musical was out for longer than it. The musical was out for a long time. That meant people actually went to go see it for many times. Years. It's been out.
Yeah, and then apparently they CGI'd out Jason Derulo's like genitals, but then Judi Dench's cat suit thing had genitals that were obvious. Like it was just a lot of alarming things wrong with this movie. So I just want to know what the director's vision was because
What happened?
The streets aren't interested in it. They didn't like it. I wasn't ever going to see it because, like I said, the CGI cat human thing freaked me out.
It was creepy. And they tried to win this over with by putting certain actors in it.
Man, I love Idris Elba with all my heart. I'm not going to see it. I'll just catch him in whatever else he's doing, but I'm not going to watch that.
I just don't understand why all these high quality actors were here.
Idris doesn't need the check.
I don't know why they were all
James Corden don't need the check. Judi Dench don't need the check.
I don't know why these high quality.
Jason Derulo don't need the check. I don't understand why any of them were there.
They were mad high quality.
Jennifer Hudson can't need the check. That's impossible. She doesn't need the check. Well, why? You're an Oscar winner. Why are you over here? What are you doing?
It was mad high quality actors.
I said, who convinced y'all? Who talked y'all into this? Who told you this was a move? Fire your management because all of them lied to you. All of them.
I think they told one person that, Idris Elba's in it. Don't you want to be in it? He was like, if Idris in it, why not? I think they had to get the first person, and then they sprouted to everybody else. That's kind of I think what happened.
Did you know what the real gag is? I haven't heard Idris say word one about this movie. I haven't seen no promo from him. Nothing. So, yeah, y'all got to do better. It's trash. It's trash.
All right.
Let me see how much money it made this weekend.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
I'm not gonna care about that at all.
I just want to know. I'm curious.
Nope, don't care. So we're at a 2-hour mark. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do BLM tea tips. This is gonna play into our end of the decade episode. It's gonna happen next year. 2020 vision. 2020 vision.
Why are you saying?
Because 2020 vision is everybody's mission statement for next year. All companies in the world are using 2020 vision like it's new.
Cats bombs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, move on. 2020 vision.
6.5 million opening.
I feel like everybody's using that same theme for next year. Like all companies across the thing. We might as well use that vision because everybody's using it. So 2020 vision, the BLM 2020 vision is the theme for next year. Because everybody else is doing it. Why not?
You want to follow Fashion Monkey?
Why not? But a good tea tip to use is the top 10 list. Everybody has seen the top 10 lists that everybody's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing lists, top 10 rappers, top 10 artists, top 10 music people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good to do a top 10 based on the your industry.
Uh-huh.
And it's a good way to get people involved and into you because people like lists. People love lists.
They do.
So
love a list.
So it's good to do different lists and just post to different lists. Even talk about it if you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to help promote people and get people interested in it. Speaking of, we are going to have a couple of lists that we're doing next year. Our end of the decade.
Next month. I mean next week.
Next week, yeah. Next week, I don't know if we're going to have a topic. I'm not sure. But
yeah.
we're going to have, it's going to be more fun.
We're just going to come out here and talk trash.
It's going to be fun. Fun times.
Light, airy, not 2 hours.
Yeah, we're going to have bunch of top 10 stuff going on. Have fun. Come party with us next week.
Come party with us. Come party with us. Come party with us. Hey.
All right. But that's really it. Nothing more. We gotta get out of here. It's 2 hours. Focus.
I am focused. I was trying to make my thing shake.
You being a head buster? Get some head busters.
Just nod your neck and keep on bouncing. Just let me give you this street.
Break your neck. Break your neck. Break your neck. Break your neck.
Bouncing up and down the street. So nod your head and break your neck. Break your neck. Break your neck.
Okay, let's move on.
Bang your head. Shout out to Busta Rhymes. That's why I like Busta Rhymes because I love that song.
Yes. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody participating. Please check us out, allofnofearpcast.com.
Word.
Also, just a FYI, if you need websites, we're trying to push it right now.
Yes.
If you need a website, we design websites.
Mm-hmm.
The price comes to about $99 a month. And we also
for maintenance.
Maintenance and creation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Creation and maintenance. Yeah.
And also we monitor social media.
Word.
We actually have a special right now. We're doing holiday calendars. If you want calendars done for your company, 2020 calendars. You can just send us 12 pictures. We can create a calendar for you.
Absolutely.
Let us know.
What's up with our raffle?
Oh yes. The raffle. So the raffle ended. What else will winner next time?
Okay, we'll announce the winner next week.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
All right. And then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all. Thanks for coming.
All right. And we'll try to do another raffle again. It was 1,000 free business cards.
All right. Step your business up in 2020 vision, y'all.
Word.
Business cards, vision.
Business card.
Business cards, vision. Okay, yeah. So we would like to say Merry Christmas to all of you. Hope you enjoy this time of the year of celebration, of
Merry
good eats.
Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all that.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Rest of you.
Rest of you. Festivue for the rest of
Festivue for the rest of you.
Festivue for the rest of you. Festivue. I like that. Festivue for the rest of you. Yeah. We out. Peace, love, and soul.
Deuces.
Bye.
We big you a dude.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
It's the All Love, No Fear podcast.
Hey.
Check us out. It's the All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast.
Podcast.
All Love, Oh, No Fear podcast.
Hey.